In 2007, Miss Teen South Carolina was asked the following question.
Recent polls have shown a fifth of Americans can't locate the U.S. on a world map. Why do you think this is?
I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education, like such as South Africa and Iraq, everywhere like such as, and I believe that they should, our education over here in the U.S. should help the U.S. or should help South Africa. It should help the Iraq and the Asian countries, so we will be able to build up our future for our.
Thank you very much, South Carolina.
Okay, other than the obvious fact that the sentence was grammatically horrible, it's clear that Miss Teen South Carolina does not have a very good understanding of world geography. This is shocking because Miss Teen South Carolina is actually an honor student in her high school and takes many accelerated classes. So what is the disconnect here, and is it important? This is potentially an enormous problem in the US because the world is becoming more and more connected as we speak. There are three main reasons why it is important to study geography. These three reasons are because it's simply embarrassing not to know it, as Miss Teen South Carolina found out. It's helpful in today's connected world, and it can turn one into a more global citizen. Geography isn't just the study of where places are on a map. It's a lot more than that. It has to do with cultural connections between people and different groups of people as well. In a study done by National Geographic, out of many different first world countries, the US was one of the lowest scoring countries in the test. The test was to see how many different countries and bodies of water that people of the sampling group of 18 to 25 could locate on the map. Of these countries, there were such countries as the US and Canada and Brazil, China and Russia, as well as things like the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. And out of the 14 countries that were represented in the study, the average American could only get 6. This was compared to countries like Sweden, which were able to get 12 out of the 14 countries. So it's embarrassing that the US has such a low percentage of people who can do this. In another study done by National Geographic, they found that only 4 in 10 Americans could point to Iraq on a map of the Middle East. This is surprising because of the US's involvement in the Middle East over the past decade and how much it's in the news. However, the lack of geographical knowledge isn't just beyond our own borders. Within the US, National Geographic found that 48% of people couldn't locate Mississippi. In addition to just being embarrassing, it's also important in today's world to know geography because the world is becoming more and more connected as we speak. In international business and trade, companies are constantly expanding their consumer bases because they're able to get their products out to more people and therefore make more money. This has become a very important aspect of business, not only in the US but also for foreign companies. By knowing geography, it's a lot easier to conduct business in these foreign countries because people already have the understandings and the cultural basis from where these people are coming from, so they understand and it's easier for them to connect with the people. In a poll taken by MSNBC, 70% of people responded that it's extremely important to know geography because of an increasingly global economy. This poll had a sample size of almost 25,000 people. That alone right there almost proves that it's very important in today's economic world as well as educational world to know geography. The third reason it's important to know geography is because it's important to understand global interdependence and become a better global citizen. In today's world, we are constantly traveling more often than people did 100 years ago, and it's easier to travel as well as gain information. In 20 hours, it's possible to go from New York City to be all the way in Australia or somewhere in Asia. By knowing the different cultures in these other countries, it's easier to travel because the traveler isn't going to get into as many conflicts because they already understand the basics. They already have a basic understanding of these cultures and how things work in these countries. Knowing geography is a very important skill to have. It's becoming more and more important because of how connected the world is today. This is stemmed from the creation of technology such as the internet and phone lines that are able to connect the world and connect people on opposite sides of the globe in a matter of milliseconds. I can't stress how important it is how important it will be in the future to know geography, not only for businessmen but also for human beings. Unless you want to end up like Miss South Carolina, being embarrassed on national TV, as well as making international headlines because of sites like YouTube, it's important to understand and know geography.